Yep. For now.
Bryce, y'all moved into your house? Not yet?
What I'm doing this evening, I got a trailer full to go unload them and get the tools and stuff.
Are you living there? Not yet?
The station's down, they don't get the power and everything. Josh has been out there all week with them, they've got 80% of the sewer, gravity sewer in. Sure.
Number
one. We're even into that. Back door anyway.
Well, they got a lot of poles across the street.
How are you? Good, how are you? Good, thank you. Good.
Neat.
And then again.
You sit there, you just sneak in, you're sitting there. I haven't looked at this word for word yet, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to crossover section of that kind of represents and then change your zone and once we things that,
Probably not.
yeah, we're going to have a conversation.
Probably not. That's why I keep two phones.
So we can make a recommendation for council to adopt it and make the part of the
So the public hearing would be for this board or
this council, okay.
It's 5:30. We'll call the July 17th planning meeting order. Josh, would you proceed with the roll call, please?
Yes. President Kevin Arnold.
Here.
Vice President Jeff Rayburn. Here. Bryce Black.
Here.
Cliff Wood.
Here.
Dina Rule.
Here.
Scott Barton.
Here.
Craig Hewitt. Absent. Mike Davis.
Here.
Sean Covey. Absent. All right.
Okay, you have the minutes of the last meeting in front of you.
Mr. President, may I interrupt?
Yes.
If it is possible, I'd like to receive these minutes prior to the meeting.
Okay.
We have time to look them over. There is one error, I believe the page 2, section C, the bottom of the paragraph should read Avery Walker, not Avery Douglas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if we could have those a few days in advance, so actually take a little more time.
Make it easier.
Appreciate it. That said, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the correction.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes with the amendment that Mr. Rayburn stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I can call you Mr. Rayburn? Commissioner Rayburn. Okay. All right, new business. No new business, Josh?
No, I'm just going to be going over some things we've been discussing the last couple meetings here tonight.
Okay, we'll move into old business, discussion of plan amendments.
Yes, first up, we had, just want to give you kind of a timeline update on the Master Parks Plan. We had our second committee meeting this Monday, went over kind of the survey results so far with the public, and then just they also had a public meeting where they got a lot of input from the people here. They had about what the changes they want to see at each park. But as it stands from there, the rest of this month they have some stakeholder meetings they're going to do, and then they're going to propose a draft plan for review by the end of next month. After that, we'll have another committee meeting, end of August, beginning of September, and then from there, after that, they'll take that draft plan and they'll actually submit it to the Indiana DNR for their comments. And once they get comments back from Indiana DNR, we'll make those changes and then resubmit to them for the final draft. And then that's what will be used. We'll try to adopt it just like we're doing this housing plan after that point to make it part of the comprehensive plan. But that's what will actually make it eligible to receive funding grants for our programs.
Good. Anyone have any questions for Josh on the park plan? Housing action plan, final draft.
Yes, so you guys all have a copy there. You should have an electronic copy as well. I'm not going to get too in-depth in this. Next meeting, we're going to have a public hearing. I'm going to do my best to get somebody from HWC either to be here to present to you in public, either here or virtually. We'll get something done. But one of the things I wanted to bring to the note here, if you go to page 25 in the plan, as you guys review this, 25 through 28, really what I want you guys to look at, this is just their review of our zoning and subdivision control ordinances and suggestions of changes we can make or improvements we can make to help spur housing development in the town. We're having conversations with them as well, you know, whether it's easier to try to make all these amendments or whether it would be better to try to repeal and adopt a new zoning ordinance to take care of all these changes. They have quite a few good insights. They have also reviewed our fee structure that we've been working on for the zoning and planning items that come before this board and before the BZA, and they have a lot of comments on those. I need to work through those with Mr. Arnold here for the next meeting and show you guys what they're thinking on that. But they didn't have anything negative to say about them. They just had some suggestions and some other ways of thinking about things. So.
And their suggestions and ideas come from, their experience with looking at other cities and how they operate.
Yes, they do subdivision developments throughout the state, so they are very knowledgeable in the different ways people do things around the state. So.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Josh on the housing action plan?
Like I said, please review, and if you come across something that doesn't seem right or you want to see fixed, let me know and I'll get that passed along. But I've reviewed it a few times. I think we've got all the minor things corrected, but take your time and read through it. There's a lot of good information in here. So.
Okay. I would ask that you all do as Josh asked and just take some time and review it. Okay, future land use map.
Yes, we printed you guys all off a bigger one there for you guys to see. You should have an electronic copy that you can zoom in. We will be going through a lot of the changes I proposed on this have to do with the housing suggestions as along all the areas I have identified that are kind of miszoned in town. But part of what we're trying to do here is also expand the buffer zone to our 2-mile statutory limit. So next month, along with the public hearing to amend the plan to adopt the housing zone, we will also be including the future land use map. Because once we do this, then it'll have to go to the county for them to approve so we can expand the buffer zone. So, like I said, I printed you guys a bigger copy so you can have a little bit easier to visually look at things. But I please ask that you take a look at this as best you can. If you have questions on areas or there's areas you're really familiar with in town and you want a more detailed breakdown, to further look at that and make sure we're not suggesting something to be zoned that's not going to make sense for how that area is already developed, it would be a big help.
And just to clarify, the buffer zone expansion, which is the green area, that's not the edge of the proposed buffer zone. That's the whole parcels within that green area would be included, correct?
Correct. This is, so what we have to submit to the county is the ability to rezone everything within this green area here. But when we go and actually do the zone map, we're only going to take parcels that are fully enclosed in that green area. That's all we're going to propose to, because as I'm talking with Todd, it's kind of a gray area, who has jurisdiction there. So that might be a parcel by parcel discussion with the county if some type of development is going on there, whether it's on our side of the line or theirs, and how we want to handle that. So,
Right, correct. Okay, are there any questions for Josh? All right, item B under old business, update on Prairie Street Committee.
yes, I met with Avery yesterday, actually, and we had short discussion, and Laura's here. I see, so maybe she can provide a little bit. We did meet, and we kind of, the committee came up with kind of a plan that we had Avery propose to Lori. I don't know if she's had a chance to reach out to Derek and kind of talk about the proposal or maybe provide an update on that.
So it was my understanding there was a proposal to separate Prairie Street equally, half between, I believe, I can't remember, Schultz, and then half the other gentleman, I don't remember what his name is, Schwab, I believe.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, they were going to propose that to Mr. Schwab. I haven't heard back as to where that stands.
Okay. Was my understanding that we were proposing that to Derek?
So what was presented to me was that all of Prairie Street basically would go to Schwab, and then the corner of Prairie and Weston would be deeded to Derek.
Okay.
And the counter proposal from Derek to the committee was Prairie Street equally divided.
Okay.
And so they were going to take that to Schwab and see what his recommendation
Okay.
was.
So
I don't know.
Avery didn't express that to me yesterday, so I'll get with him on that and see.
Okay.
So perfect. All right. So we're just still working through that issue. With that, and hopefully we can get that resolved here within the next month or so and get a plan to represent that to council and, re-petition that and get that matter closed. So.
Any further comments or questions on the Prairie Street?
I'll get with Avery and probably get another community meeting scheduled then so we can review Derek's counter proposal there and see how we would like to proceed.
Okay. And that works for you as well?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Next item is public comment. Would anyone like to comment at all from the public or the mayor? Do you have anything?
No.
I do have something. I spent the day down in Plainfield at an ADA meeting, and just as we talk about these different things, it's always one thing we need to take into effect on all our planning here is just to make sure we incorporate ADA standards, and especially as we're moving forward. They're only getting more strict. And the last thing we want to do is do new developments, whether they be a private development or city improvements to where we're not meeting the ADA requirements and we have to go and redo them because of a complaint or something like that. So that's something the Planning Commission can really help with to make sure those federal and state statutes are enforced. So.
Anything else? Any comments from the board? Okay, the next meeting for the Planning Commission is Thursday, August 21st, 2025 at 5:30, same location. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. To adjourn, second. Been motioned and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thanks everybody for coming. See you next time. 14 minutes. I've got 11 minutes.
So,
Could have done.